Tonight we turn to this truth. Your world is the record of your inner conversations. Without knowing it, man walks through the day, speaking inwardly, from dawn until rest. And by habit, he repeats the same tale of doubt and desire. He does not realize that every unspoken word is a seed, that heaven and earth stand listening, not to the prayers he voices in the silence of his mind, but to the tone he keeps when no ear is near. By custom he argues with himself, defending the shadows of old belief as though they were truth, rehearsing the very failure he longs to escape. He does not see that his sorrow begins the moment he accepts the report of the senses. He calls it fact, not realizing it was conceived by his own reaction. He speaks to himself in accents of fear or faith, and life replies in that same language. He polishes the chains and calls it discipline, rewarded for obedience by those who profit from his sleep. The state he occupies feeds upon his awareness. It draws life from every anxious thought, every sigh that agrees with limitation. He calls the harvest unfair, yet he plants the same seed again, watering it with complaint and naming it reason. The world is not condemning, it mirrors his assumption. Every feeling he defends, every judgment he repeats, what he clings to in mind will soon stand before him in form. Creation does not respond to effort, but to conviction. And conviction is shaped by what man whispers when no one listens. So if he would change his world, he must awaken to the silent theater within. So tell me, what conversations haunt you when you are alone? What words crawl back to you when the world grows silent? You claim to believe in God, yet you tremble at the sound of a bill. You call imagination divine, yet you treat it as performance, not a living act, a comfort for weary minds, when it is in truth the power that shapes the world. And you who study this law, who quote the words and practice the scenes, why does nothing change? Because you are fluent in imagination, but intimate with your old conversation. You are never alone. Your mind is crowded with yesterday's voices. You continue debates with the self you refuse to release. You command abundance in one breath, and in the next, you confess fear. You assume the wish fulfilled for a moment, then turn and argue against it, as though doubt were a familiar ghost. You struggle with your own reflection, attempting to silence it through effort and distraction. Yet the voice endures, for no man can mute the belief he still nourishes. You say, why does the law not work for me? And I tell you, the law has never failed. It is your allegiance to the opposing thought that keeps it from operating. Until you abandon that inner combat, until you stop defending the very thought that denies your prayer, you will keep standing at the same gate, knocking from both sides at once. You cannot serve the promise and the fear at once. Withdraw your faith from that image, and it will fade of its own accord. Give your loyalty instead to a higher conversation, the dialogue of the accomplished wish. Let that new declaration be heard in you until you no longer remember the old. When an unwanted thought rises, do not wrestle with it. Simply replace it. For the old seed dies only when a new one is sown. If he says, money never stays with me, let him now say, I am the source from which wealth flows. If he says, I still doubt it will happen, let him declare, doubt is but the shadow of belief, and I stand in the finished work. Let this be your practice, not to please the world, but to remind creation who you are. Each morning, choose your state as you would choose your garment. Clothe yourself with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and return to it again and again until it becomes your only reality. Before you sleep, rewrite the record of the day. Take the scene that disturbed you and replay it as it should have been. See it complete. Hear the words you long to hear, and drift to rest knowing it is done. When the mind protests, saying, "But I cannot," answer, "I already have." Begin to speak from the end, and let every word declare its completion. Say within yourself, "It is finished," not as a wish, but as remembrance. Persist in the new dialogue, and life will bow to the pattern of your certainty. And in time, when the old argument has lost its breath, you will see your world transfigured, letters altered, faces renewed, paths cleared, not by toil, nor by fortune, but by the conversation you finally chose to keep. When that conversation becomes your single language, the world will no longer resist. It will listen and answer. For creation has always waited for the one who dares to speak as God speaks, calling things that are not seen as though they were. You will find yourself surrounded by answered prayers and wonder how you ever believed in delay. And when you know the creation is finished, you cease to wait. You rejoice. For faith is not a struggle to make it so. It is the joy of knowing it is so. For the drama is over, and in that knowing, you smile through fulfillment and declare, "Isn't it wonderful?" Not as a question, but as the final word of God spoken in you.